Dear students, very good morning. Today we will discuss the physical properties of organohalogen compounds. In this topic we will study nature of carbon-halogen bond, dipole moment of carbon-halogen bond, boiling and melting points of organohalogen compounds, bond strength of carbon-halogen bond, solubility of organohalogen compounds, density and inflammability of organohalogen compounds. Let us take the nature of carbon-halogen bond. We know that halogens are the most electronegative elements in their periods in periodic table, except iodine. Remaining all halogens are more electronegative than carbon. So if you take the carbon-halogen bond, the bonding electrons will be withdrawn by the halogen. So the halogen gets negative charge and the carbon gets positive charge. So there is a creation of two dipoles, and the dipole moment, it's a vector, it is in the direction of CX bond. Let us take the polarity of CX bonds. As the electronegativity difference between carbon and halogen increases, the bond polarity increases. Since the electronegativity difference between fluorine and carbon is the highest when compared with other remaining CX bonds, the CF bond will be more polar when compared with the other CX bonds. Let us take the electronegativity values of halogens. We know that fluorine is the highest electronegative element in the periodic table. The value is 4.0 and chlorine 3.5, bromine 2.8, iodine 2.5. This one is equal to electronegativity value of carbon. So if you take the difference between electronegativity value of halogen and carbon, for fluorine it will be 1.5, for chlorine it will be 1.0, for bromine it will be 0.3, for iodine it will be 0. Since the electronegativity difference between iodine and carbon is 0, the bond is nonpolar. In this case, we have more electronegativity difference in the case of CF bond. That's why the CF bond is more polar when compared with the other CX bonds. In this slide, we have dipole moment of organohalogen compounds. If we take carbon-halogen bond, the halogen has negative charge, the carbon has partial positive charge. The two dipoles are separated by some distance. The dipole moment is defined as the product of charge on a particular dipole and the distance between two dipoles. The dipole moment is measured in debye. 1 debye is equal to 3.33 into 10 to the power of minus 30 coulomb meter. For polar molecules, the dipole moment ranges from 1 debye to 11 debye. For ionic compounds, the dipole moment is greater than 5 debye. If we take polar covalent bonds, the dipole moment is in the order of 1 debye. And if you take non-polar covalent bonds, for these bonds the electronegativity difference is 0, so the dipole moment will be 0. And if you consider dipole moment of CX bonds, if you take electronegativity values, the CF bond should have more dipole moment when compared with other bonds. But the dipole moment not only depends on electronegativity difference but also depends on distance between two dipoles. In the case of carbon and fluorine, there is a more electronegativity difference, but the bond distance is very less when compared with carbon and chlorine. That's why the dipole moment of carbon and chlorine is greater than carbon and fluorine. Next one is carbon and bromine, and the next one is carbon and iodine. This is the dipole moment order for CX bonds. The next physical property is boiling point and melting point. We know that both boiling point and melting point depend on strength of the intermolecular forces existing between molecules in the compound. In the case of melting point, it also depends on packing fraction of the solid. It means how closely the molecules are arranged in the solid. In organohalogen compounds, we have van der Waals dispersion forces. These are also called as London dispersion forces. And also we have van der Waals dipole attraction forces. In the case of organohalogen compounds, the London dispersion forces outweighs the van der Waals dipole attraction forces. So the melting and boiling point of the organohalogen compounds will be decided by the strength of the London dispersion forces. We know that the strength of the London dispersion forces increases with the molecular weight. So as the molecular weight increases, the dispersion forces increases. So the boiling and melting point increases. Finally, the melting point and boiling point of halides increases with molecular weight. We know that in halides, iodides have more molecular weight when compared with bromides, chlorides and fluorides. So iodides have more boiling and higher melting and boiling points when compared with other halides. This is the order of both boiling and melting point of halides. In this case, alkyl iodide greater than alkyl bromide greater than alkyl chloride greater than alkyl fluoride, and all the alkyl halides have higher melting and boiling point when compared with the alkanes due to having higher molecular weight when compared with the alkanes. Isomers of alkyl halides, the boiling point decreases with increase in branches. When there is an increase in branches, there is a decrease in surface area. So there is a decrease in London dispersion forces between molecules. So there is a decrease in boiling point. Suppose if you take N-butyl chloride, this is N-butyl chloride, isobutyl chloride and tertiary butyl chloride. N-butyl chloride has more surface area. Here there is an increase in branching, so there is a decrease in surface area. When you take tertiary butyl chloride, there is a further increase in branching, so there is a decrease in surface area. So when there is a decrease in surface area, there is a decrease in London dispersion forces, so there is a decrease in boiling point. So if you take isomers of butyl chloride, N-butyl chloride has more boiling point when compared with isobutyl chloride, and isobutyl chloride has more boiling point when compared with tertiary butyl chloride. But in the case of melting point, it depends more on symmetry of the molecules rather than surface area of the molecule. If you take isomers of butyl chloride, the tertiary butyl chloride is spherical in shape and more symmetric, so it has a more melting point when compared with other molecules. In these three molecules, this molecule has highest symmetry. The next one is N-butyl chloride and the next one is isopropyl chloride. In this case, the surface area is not a matter. In this case, the packing fraction is a matter. So highest the symmetry of the molecule, highest the melting point of the molecule. Suppose if you take dihalo compounds, in para-dichlorobenzene, the molecule is highly symmetric when compared with the ortho-dichlorobenzene and also meta-dichlorobenzene. If you take dichlorobenzene molecules, para-chloro is highly symmetric. The next one is ortho-dichloro and the next one is meta-dichloro. Hence the boiling point order will be para, ortho and meta-dichlorobenzene. In this slide we have bond strength of CX bond. It depends on the size of the halogen and also hybridization of the carbon. As the size of the halogen increases, bond length increases, so the bond strength decreases with the increase in size of the halogen. So the bond length order will be CF less than, CCl less than, CBr less than, Ci. In this diagram, we have CF bond, CCl bond, CBr bond and Ci bond. Here there is an increase in size of halogen. So there is an increase in bond length from carbon fluoride bond to carbon iodine bond. So the bond strength will be exactly opposite to the bond length order. So the highest bond strength will be for carbon fluorine bond. The next one is carbon chlorine. The next one is carbon bromine. And the least one is carbon iodine. Bond length and bond strength also depend on the hybridization of the carbon. If you take sp3CX of alkyl halide, this one has higher bond length when compared with sp2CX vinyl. This one has higher bond length when compared with sp2CX of aryl. So the bond strength of these halides will be sp3CX less than, sp2CX of vinyl less than, sp2CX of aryl. In the case of vinyl and aryl halides, there is a delocalization of pi electrons and also non-bonding electrons. So there is a getting of partial double bond character in between carbon and halogen. Hence there is a decrease in bond length between carbon and halogen. So there is an increase in bond strength of the CX bond in the case of vinyl and aryl halides. Let us take the solubility of organohalogen compounds. We know that organohalogen compounds are polar, but these are partially insoluble in water. The reason is that the attraction forces between water and water is greater than the attraction forces between water and alkyl halides or organohalogen compounds. These are completely soluble in organic solvents, both polar and non-polar. And also, even though these molecules are polar, these molecules or these substances cannot dissolve salts such as sodium chloride or potassium chloride. Next property is density. As the number of halogens increases, the density of organohalogen compounds increases. If you take carbon tetrachloride, chloroform, dichloromethane, these three compounds are heavier than water and methyl chloride is lighter than water. In this case, as the increase in halogens in the compound, there is an increase in density. If you take alkyl iodide, bromide, chloride, fluoride, there is an increase in density with increase in molecular weight. In the case of alkyl iodides and bromides, these two are heavier than water and the remaining two halides are lighter than water and all the halides are heavier than hydrocarbons. Let us take the inflammability of the organohalogen compounds. We know that hydrocarbons are highly inflammable. When you replace hydrogens in the hydrocarbons with halogens, there is a decrease in inflammability of the compounds. So, as the number of halogens in the organohalogen compounds increases, there is a decrease in inflammability. Suppose if you take CH4, this one is highly inflammable. We are using as a combustible gas. When you replace hydrogen with chlorine, there is a decrease. 2 chlorines, there is a further decrease. 3 chlorines, less inflammable. And this one CCl4 is very less inflammable, and also it is a best solvent in organic chemistry due to having less inflammability. In next class we will discuss the chemical properties of organohalogen compounds.